Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Stotara Satashi Śrīmad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj ki Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai Gau Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam Devam Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavad-uttama shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 54, The Marriage of Krishna and Rukmini, text number 48. Yes. Yathā śayāna ātmānaṁ viṣayān phalam ca anubhuṅkte yasatyarthe tathāpnoty abudho bhavam yathā śayāna ātmānaṁ viṣayān phalam ca anubhuṅkte yasatyarthe tathāpnoty abudho bhavam yathā śayāna ātmānaṁ viṣayān phalam ca anubhuṅkte yasatyarthe tathāpnoty abudho bhavam. Mataji's? Yathā, as. Śayānaḥ, a sleeping person. ātmānaṁ, himself. viṣayān, sense objects. phalam, the fruits. eva, indeed. cha, also. anubhuṅkte, experiences. api, even. asati, arthe, and that which is not real. tathā, so. āpnoti, undergoes. abudhaḥ, the unintelligent. bhavam, material existence. Translation and purport by the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. As a sleeping person perceives himself, the objects of sense enjoyment, and the fruits of his acts within the illusion of a dream, so one who is unintelligent undergoes material existence. Please repeat. As a sleeping person, perceives himself, the objects of sense enjoyment, and the fruits of his acts within the illusion of a dream. So one who is unintelligent undergoes material existence. Purport. As stated in śruti, asaṅgo yayaṁ puruṣaḥ, the living being has no intimate connection with the material world. This point is explained in the present verse. A similar statement is found in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11:22-56. Arthe hyavidyamanepi saṅsritir na nivartate hyayato viṣayān asya swapne ta gamo yathā. For one who is meditating on sense gratification, material life, although lacking factual existence, does not go away, just as the unpleasant experiences of a dream do not. Om jnana-timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam jena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Namaom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyacha Deshatarane Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Such a nice translation. As a sleeping person perceives himself, the objects of sense enjoyment, and the fruits of his acts within the illusion of a dream, so one who is unintelligent undergoes material existence. So we're very fortunate to be able to hear the absolute truth, which is given by Krishna himself. What is religion and what is the absolute truth? Krishna himself is giving that, and he's speaking it in the form of Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedanta Sutra, the Puranas. But unfortunately, because we've come to this material world, we left our home in the spiritual world. We have an identity, a spiritual identity. We have a relationship with Krishna. But somehow or other, with our teeny brain, we cannot understand why we would leave such a paradise or such an opulent, eternal, blissful existence to come to this world and be subjected to being controlled by goodness, passion, ignorance. Now, everyone has desires. We can't stop desires. But through the process of Krishna consciousness and proper training, one is given an opportunity. Why does someone pay huge college fees? Sometimes they spend $100,000 in a year just to sit to listen to the learned professors about some subject matter. Hopefully in the future they can also earn more money and implicate themselves further and further in the karmic reactions of this world. And because Krishna is so powerful and this material nature is so bewildering, even great philosophers and scientists and people who are leaders in society, they don't have a clue that this body is simply a temporary covering for the soul. When a baby is born dead, what's missing? The soul is missing. It will not grow, it just deteriorates. Everything without the soul just it deteriorates and rots. We're all born, we grow, develop, we produce some byproducts, we dwindle. Anyone dwindling here? Dwindle, and we die. Everyone's forced to die. And even though we may think that I will find that fountain of youth for eternality. I think in Florida, was it Ponce de Leon, we're looking for the fountain of youth. The cosmetic industry is multi-billion, trillion-dollar business enterprise because people see pictures, oh, you want to get rid of the wrinkles? Just put this cream on, you'll be wrinkle-free. No ironing necessary. You'll be looking fresh as a daisy. But everyone in this world, they have this doubt, oh, why worship God? Or, you know, we can figure things out on our own. But we're seeing Prabhupada's giving us this wonderful opportunity to hear Bhagavad Gita, hear Krishna speaking to Arjuna about the purpose and goal of life. Because we're all in a dreamlike state. In our dreams, we may have many, many different experiences. They say we know what gold is and we know what mountains are, so we might be dreaming of a golden mountain. Or, you know, maybe we're being attacked. You're watching the nature show, the lion or the tiger is pouncing and ripping us apart. But actually, in our dream, we're experiencing the pain and the fear and the anxiety, but there's really no tiger, and you can't be killed. Imagine, we've all achieved what Hiranyakashipu wanted, to become deathless, free from death. Why is that? Because Krishna is eternal, ever-existing, and undying. So we're part of Krishna. We're that little minute portion. And Krishna is the Bhoktarang Jagatapasang Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He's the supreme enjoyer. Krishna expands himself as Srimati Radharani, as Balaram, unlimited spiritual incarnations, and all for the purpose of enjoyment. And because all of us in the material world that has so many planets, not only so many planets, so many universes, unlimited living beings. And there's so many desires that Krishna gives us a big variety to choose from the catalog, 8,400,000 species. You want to be Brahma, you can enjoy a long duration of life in Brahmaloka, the heavenly planet, like Indra and Chandra, like the demigods, or many human beings who have achieved beautiful bodies and good families. Fabulous wealth has come to them. And some are very competent and capable, very professional. You know, some of these sports stars, they make millions and millions of dollars. But what is the purpose? What are the activities of the material world? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The dogs are doing that. The monkeys are doing that. The human beings. So we may think, well, but we can do it in a more refined, polished way. We can actually enjoy in a much higher level than the animals. But ultimately, we're forced to grow old, and we're forced to die. So human life is a gift. They say, or it's described, that in the human form of life, one can inquire, who am I? As Sanatana Goswami, great minister, very learned, very wealthy, very much respected by everyone, but he was telling to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I am such a fool, I don't know who am I? Why am I forced to grow old? Why am I forced to die and leave this world? So we can have dreams and fantasies of the perfect woman, the perfect man, the perfect house, you know, many varieties of new clothing. I got a new kurta, you know, it feels so good. You know, we have some nice jewels, maybe nice vehicles, and all the nice things of this world. But it's like going on a merry-go-round. Sometimes you're the pauper on the street, they're sleeping on the side, there's no clean water, no food, no clothing, and it appears like suffering with no one to take shelter of, no one to protect them. How do orphans feel? You know, imagine you're born into this world, and all of a sudden your mother and father just give you up, and then you have to go under the mercy of the state on the child protection issues. And there's so much abuse, child abuse, adult abuse. It's a dukhalayam shashvatam. It's a temporary, miserable place. So Lord Balaram is telling Rukmini that, you know, you shouldn't lament, for everyone is suffering their karma, karmana daivana trena. You may think, well, he's suffering better than I'm suffering because he's got more facilities in this world to enjoy. But what is the real enjoyment? That enjoyment is eternal, ever existing. And it's not like we're going to speculate to understand what is God or what is the ultimate purpose of life. We have to hear. Even in modern education, they accept that you want to make advancement, you want to get a degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, a PhD, many degrees are there. Further, higher education, you have to go through the rigor or the austerities of going to the class, hearing the professor, and studying and trying to understand how to find that happiness which people have not been able to find in the material world since time immemorial. If you look at the history, you see many kingdoms, many emperors, many powerful personalities, but none as powerful as Krishna. Krishna exhibited. He appears like an ordinary person. Oh, he's just Krishna, yeah, he was a famous person. Maybe he was a little bit strong, or he had a lot of wives, and he had a lot of girlfriends, but Krishna, just an ordinary person. But avajananti mang mudha manushing tanu mashritam. That's the deluding, bewildering potency of Krishna to make us believe that there is no God. And I just happened by chance to take birth in this world. The whole creation happened just by chance. All the planets are rotating. The sun is providing heat and light and nourishment to all the vegetables and fruits. But if we have factories and we have technology, we can become happy. But you can't produce grains and fruits in the factories, only nuts and bolts. So everyone's coming from the farms, from the agricultural fields, where by performing yajna, Vedic civilization, advanced civilization, many years ago, this is the Kali Yuga, most degraded age. People live very short lives, and they're being manipulated by blind leaders to think that I will work hard in the factory. I know I was in Buffalo, New York. My brother had to work for Bethlehem Steel. Every time he'd come back, he was totally black. The coal, they have to shovel coal and making steel and nuts and bolts and all these. And what? At the end of the day, you get some money. For what purpose? I've got to take care of my family and my children. I have a responsibility to all my family members, my community, my nation. Oh, our nation's in trouble with your nation? We need to fight, kill one another. Even in the Civil War, especially in the middle states like Virginia and the Carolinas, sometimes families who were from the rebel side and whatever. It's just, history shows there's nothing but war, and then when things get even worse, there's pestilence, COVID, disease, isn't it? And even now after the disease, there's earthquakes. Krishna can kill unlimited demons by his parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate. He has material nature is working under his power. Strong wind. I lived in Miami, and we used to get hurricanes. It was very, very powerful winds. And imagine the mind is more difficult to control than the raging wind. And if you see the raging wind, you cannot control. So the nature's power under Krishna's order. And you think, well, why would Krishna want people to suffer? Again, karmana daivana trena. That if a person, this is a free country, and if somebody breaks the law, then the agents of the government put that person in prison. You think, well, why are you putting him in prison? Because he's endangering others, and he's endangering himself, and he's ignorant or disobedient to the law of authority. So we have a responsibility that we have to hear from Krishna. And Krishna sends his representatives. And the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaram is the most important aspect of our trying to make progress, spiritual progress. But the danger is that if we hear from the wrong places, because there's many who want to translate Bhagavad Gita to suit their own purposes and their own objectives. Oh, Krishna means this, Kurukshetra means that. It's not that you have to surrender to Krishna, but the unborn within the Krishna. So there's easy deviation available, but Krishna's in our heart. Sarvasya chaham hridisana vishto matat smritir jnana upohanam cha. Krishna's giving us knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So we should feel ourselves very lucky, fortunate to be at the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada, being a Shakti Vaishavatar, empowered representative of the Lord, carrying the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most recent incarnation, Krishna Varnam Tvishak Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Jagnai Sankirtan Prayar Yajantihi Samedasaha. One who's intelligent will perform the Sankirtan Yagya, the chanting of Krishna's holy names. And this is exactly what Srila Prabhupada did when he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in 1922, and afterwards all his friends asked, what do you think? He said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is the right, qualified person to carry the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada showed by his personal example that he wanted to, sometimes intimately talking to the devotees, he said, yes, I was thinking that I will, first of all, become a very wealthy person, very wealthy, and then I can spend my money for spreading Krishna consciousness. Even an astrologer said you could be one of the most wealthy persons. He was manager of a big chemical firm, and things looked very promising and ideal. But when Krishna loves you too much, he takes everything away. So Prabhupada said, oh, Krishna really loves me. He took it all away. And somehow I saw, now I need to, that he was, we shouldn't also see it in a mundane way, but it's showing us that, yes, you want family, there's a way to have your family in a Krishna conscious way. But ultimately, our real family is Krishna in the spiritual world. We can have some sentiment. We're not, how you say, against. We have to worship the mother. When Brahmananda was being initiated, Prabhupada said, you first offer obeisances to your mother, then here. So it's not that pure devotional service is callous to, proper sentiment or social exchange, how we can not respect our mother and father, how we can not respect any other living entity. But the reality is that we have to take shelter of Krishna through his representative. Tadviri pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanastatvadarshana. Everyone's looking for knowledge, and this jnana, vairagya, it is available through the process of hearing and chanting. But we have to be sheltered with a proper father, proper maintainer. Many are misled in this world, and we don't want to be so self-righteous because, the Hindus think they're right, the Christians think they're right, the Buddhists think they're okay, the Hare Krishnas think we got it together. When there was a big court case in the 70s, something like that, when the deprogrammers were trying to force us to be demons and karmis. No, I force you to eat meat and take drugs and have illicit activities because this is normal, this is society. How is it? Prabhupada gave the arguments, because they're not being hippies, they're not taking intoxication, they're not running around looking for prostitution and killing the animals. You have an objection. So in the court, this is a very serious case that maybe we're brainwashing people. Forcibly, we're making people due to all this chanting, maybe depriving you of sleep. You're not sleeping enough, you're not eating nutritiously enough, and you're not socializing, you're copping out from the social system, and you're neglecting your family and friends. So naturally, you must be brainwashed. So Prabhupada said, you give them all 80 books. All 80 books? Yes, this is our argument. You read the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, you read these literatures and understand what is religion and what is the purpose and goal of life. And I've understood, maybe they didn't read fully, but the judges, after reading Srila Prabhupada's books, verified that this is an authorized, bona fide religious process. The authenticity is in the books. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Srila Prabhupada was pushing. He said, you get any money, don't save it. Print books. More books. Just because Maya has a way of making that Lakshmi is chanchalam. But if it's used in Krishna's service, and by going door to door and giving people these transcendental literatures, even though not everyone will read them, but even if they read a little bit, just a little bit, it can awaken that desire to know, who am I? Why am I here in this world? And why am I forced to suffer? If the answers are there, then I want to take shelter in that way. So we should not hesitate, whatever time we've wasted in this world by watching the news about Donald Trump and his nefarious activities of cheating, scamming, and basically speaking, the leaders should be rajarshis, or following religious principles, but it seems like in Kali Yuga, most of the so-called leaders are totally immersed in not following any of the regulative principles. By breaking them all, they become great leaders. So Srila Prabhupada not only gave us restrictions, don't do this, don't do that, but there are alternatives. Instead of meat eating, Prabhupada said you get the gulab jamun and the samosas and the pakoras, and if you start describing all the different varieties of foods, you'll get too hungry. You won't listen to class. Get ready for prasadam. But Prabhupada was adamant that everyone must receive prasadam. Prasad distribution is very, very important. Whenever he would have a meeting, big dignitaries and professors and philosophers and ordinary people, make sure they get prasadam. Why there's not enough prasadam? I think in the Kumbh Mela in 1977, they were organizing. Prabhupada wasn't happy with the location of the camp, but also there wasn't enough supply of foodstuffs, and I think he was giving it to Bhagavat Maharaj and to Guru Das, who were organizing. But Prabhupada wrote a letter to all the temple presidents. He said there must always be prasadam ready. Engage 3-4 nice cooks. Always have ample supply of prasadam. Anytime people should be able to get prasadam. So this is the mood in Vrindavan. We're trying to have plenty of prasadam in our new Krishna Balaram hall. Gaur Bhagavan Ki Jai. He's working hard, keeping the kitchens cranking for prasadam, because by prasadam, it cleanses the heart, it cleanses the mind, because the mind is restless, the senses are restless, and then we have so many dreams and so many imaginations that I'll become happy. I know, I can feel that, my good fortune is coming. But our only good fortune is Krishna consciousness. There's no other solution, because everyone's going to die in this world and forced to take birth again. Again and again and again. You could be a king, a prince, or a dog, or a pig, or a germ, whatever. But to have a human form of life and hear that I'm not this material covering, scientists and doctors, those who are not Krishna conscious, they can't see the soul. It's very tiny, very minute. I know that you have a mind. I have a mind. I can't understand what's in your mind. You can't understand exactly mind, intelligence, and ego. These are subtle coverings. Even when the material body is destroyed, you're still entrapped by the mind, by the intelligence, and by the ego. You could be sleeping and dreaming, but still the mind, the intelligence, and the ego will carry us. Yang vapi smaran bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram. Whatever state of being we are at the time of death, that state will attain without fail. Ante Narayana Smriti. So we need to remember Krishna, Narayan. And how to remember Krishna at the time of death? By practice. We've heard often that if you want to be a dancer on the stage, you need to practice, you need to rehearse. The teacher's giving you directions, you're fine-tuning it. You can't say that I want to jump on the stage and I want to show people my ability, but I have no practice and no understanding. So at the time of death, like Kula Shekhar Maharaj, he was praying that give me death now, because my mind is fixed at your lotus feet. Because when I'm choking and the mucus is there and my family members are hovering over me thinking, will the guy hurry up and just leave so I can get my inheritance? I mean, sometimes parents become a problem for the children. They put them in homes. And when you become 70, 80, 90 plus, and arthritis is setting in, and the legs and the brain is not working, and you pretty much become helpless. You're kind of, you're relying on your loving children that you've dedicated your life to take care of you, but it's not always a pleasant experience, because we know when you're going up those stairs or trying to maneuver, as the body, as a machinery is getting rusty and older and not capable of doing the wonderful gymnastics and perform in a high caliber, then the fear factor sets in that, oh, I just can't wait to die. If somebody's lying in bed, eating and passing spoon, just, practically can't get up or do anything, and you tell them that there's life after death, oh no, not like this. I don't want to suffer again and again and again. But the real life is being with Krishna, being in the spiritual world. Krishna, he came to Vrindavan 5,000 years ago. He spoke Bhagavad Gita. It wasn't created by some, professor at some university. Everybody else's books are useless, but Bhagavad Gita is read and appreciated and translated. But unfortunately, very much misunderstood by those who don't have clear, proper guidance. I'm not saying that Srila Prabhupada is the only saint. There are many saintly personalities, but Srila Prabhupada, he was empowered. And just remarkably, if you just even read the last 50 years, when Prabhupada came to America in 1965 on a ship suffering 2 heart attacks, normally a 3rd heart attack, you're finished. And Prabhupada's coming, no one, really he knew no one. He came, and every day he was thinking, for the first year in particular, it was very, very difficult to establish, even plant a few seeds, a few hippies coming around. How are you going to start an international society to broadcast the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How is it even humanly possible? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted that his name be glorified all over in every town, village, isn't it? And by spreading this Krishna consciousness movement, Srila Prabhupada, he blessed all of us to also have an opportunity to serve. When Prabhupada was appreciating all of his disciples, he said, my Guru Maharaj has sent me so many wonderful devotees. Krishna comes with his entourage, the pure devotee also is being sent. So we should not think, oh yeah, I did a lot of yagyas and tapasyas in many, many lifetimes, so I have an opportunity to participate in the Krishna consciousness movement. Just like the cowherd boys performed a lot of pious activities to be privileged to play and love Krishna. It may be a gyata sukriti. When Krishna kills the demons, they also achieve good fortune. So in Kali Yuga, none of us really have the good fortune, but one good thing is simply by the holy name, and Prabhupada's giving us the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It may be difficult to regulate the mind, but find time. Regulate for reading, hearing Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction, Prabhupada's. We don't need to be researching too many philosophical discourses by the great acharyas. There are many great acharyas, but imagine we could spend our full day hearing and chanting. Prabhupada, when translating, he says it takes so much effort and thought how to take this message, such high, elaborate philosophical discussion, to make it suitable for the understanding of the common people. We're considered like common, we're not like great Sanskrit scholars. Anybody understand Sanskrit? No. And sometimes they would ask, Prabhupada, do all your disciples know Sanskrit? That is not necessary. I mean, it's not that if someone is studying, that's very good, if you have that aptitude or ability. But just by hearing, and even Prabhupada is so liberal that even if we're not hearing and chanting as much as we should be, just by seeing the beauty of the deities, thinking that how beautiful the clothing of the deity is, and just sitting and appreciating the beauty of the deity, this archa vigraha is the Lord incarnated. It's not some idolatry or somebody's fanciful imagination of what God might be like. No, this is in Scripture. So we have the authority of Scripture. Mahajano Jainagata Sapanta. We're hearing Prahlad Maharaj, we're hearing Bhishmadev, we're hearing Shukadev Goswami, all the great acharyas, and it's being explained in a very beautiful way. And the society is meant for the purpose of coming together and chanting together, hearing and glorifying Krishna together. And this will help us remember. And if you get a little bit of impetus by being together with all the devotees and by hearing how wonderful Krishna is and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is freely giving love of Godhead, how the 6 Goswamis, even though they felt inadequate, unqualified, what to speak of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and all the Goswamis, but Krishna, he empowered, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu empowered, personally trained. We heard the other day, wasn't it, that Sanatana Goswami was thinking about, I'm in a disease condition and Lord Chaitanya is embracing me. I can't tolerate it. I should just go lay down in front of the Jagannath cart and finish this. Lord Chaitanya said, this is not your body. This belongs to me. Krishna providing. What's the body made of? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. It's like, the doll maker makes a nice set of ears, nice eyes, different features. It's amazing. How isn't it? Thousands, millions, tens of millions of people, and practically you can identify everybody. We all have just eyes, nose, ears. It's how many ways can you manufacture this? But this is the intricacy and the greatness of Krishna, that whatever you want, Krishna's like a loving parent. If the child is super stubborn, super defiant, then some, okay, do it, go ahead. So we were super stubborn and super defiant, and we were forced to come to this material world and given an opportunity to find some happiness and enjoyment. So we should increase our hearing and chanting. Time is going very, very quickly, isn't it? You remember when you first came to the movement, 1 or 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. And it's nothing, it's not like a matter of time, it's a matter of fixed determination and seriousness. We were honoring yesterday Ayendra Prabhu and just appreciating his strong determination for the holy name and strong determination for Vrindavan, Braj, and the love that the inhabitants of Vrindavan have for Krishna, what to speak of the gopis and gopas and Srimati Radharani. We don't want to jump and think that, oh yes, that's the best thing, let's just hear about Krishna and the gopis, because what better topics are there to talk about? But by starting at the lotus feet of Krishna and working our way up and seeing the beauty of his smiling, bright lotus face, now we're in the 10th canto, so very advanced, very elevated. But we start from the first canto and systematically, progressively, in the company of Vaishnavas, and sometimes we get some very nice senior Vaishnavas giving us guidance. And what makes one senior is that he very humbly follows his Guru Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada often would relate that I don't know magic and I don't have any, I'm nothing wonderful. I just have firm faith in the orders of my spiritual master. may seem very simplistic, that, such, respect of the spiritual master and chastity and not really looking for, my guru is nice, but there are so many gurus that can get more and more and more from so many places. No. Prabhupada, he's giving us everything. He said everything is here within the four walls of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. We have the Mangal Arti, the Kirtan, the chanting, beautiful deities. If we're cooking for the deities, cleaning the temple, dressing the deities wonderfully, and especially hearing Bhagavatam, then Cheto Darpana Marjanam, we're cleansing. Then our dreams of serving Krishna and being with the devotees, it'll all become a reality. It's not thinking that, what if at the time of death Krishna forgets about me, or, I'm left behind. We know that depends on us. That and we might think, but I'm so full of material desires and my mind is so disturbed and agitated by the senses, how can I possibly make advancement? Krishna can give us that. Somehow, even Bilvamangal Thakur, he was infatuated, like that, but he got a startling realization that no, you should dedicate your energy for Krishna. So Krishna was personally taken care of. So we need to have faith, because atheists, at the time of a fearful situation, during war, whatnot, they also pray. But if someone is very wealthy and thinking that, no, what do I need God for? I have my own money, everything is taken care of in my life. You guys are poor, you go pray. No, this tiny life is nothing. What is 10, 20, 50, 100 years? It's nothing. You got thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions. So many varieties are in this world, and this is our escape. Surrender to Krishna, surrender to Srila Prabhupada, hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the association of devotees. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki. So we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions, comments, corrections. Oh, did you have good dreams? Oh, okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Go ahead, just speak.
You were speaking about that Prabhupada said that everything is here in these four walls.
Everything is here in these four walls.
But still sometimes we want to visit different places.
Still we want to visit?
Different places.
Different places.
What we should do? We should stay in one place, or we should
what should we do? Should we stay or visit places? Stay. Everything is here. Of course, even Srila Prabhupada, went with the devotees to Kumbh Mela for preaching purposes, and went to Barsana and Nandagram, and went Kurukshetra, Bombay. So, although everything is here within the four walls of Krishna Balaram Mandir, still for preaching purposes, Prabhupada says, in New York, I could be so happy just staying in Vrindavan. I'm always in the mood of being in Vrindavan. So for preaching purposes, it's good that one can come and charge his batteries and do the preaching. But also throughout the Bhagavatam, it's recommended that one can come and retire and spend his days hearing and chanting in Vrindavan. And this is also perfection of life. So both. You can stay or you can go, as long as you're preaching. Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu. That microphone might come. Is it working? The volume, the voice, the volume is a little low? Okay, talk loudly into the mic.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. A nice lecture, and I would like to ask you, what about the dementia, degenerated brains, and the elderly people? Dementia, degenerated people. How to give Krishna conscious to them?
Hedonistic people? What is
Dementia.
Dementia. Well, you know, this is part of the material world, full of disease. Give them prasadam. And even if they understand or don't understand, just like many of us, we don't understand all this Sanskrit and elaborate mantras and maybe all the different rules and regulations, scriptural. And like the illiterate Brahmana in South India, they were making jokes because he was holding Bhagavad Gita and crying. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he appreciated that simply this person was thinking how Krishna is serving his dear friend Arjuna as a chariot driver. And he embraced him that your love for Krishna is genuine. So if one has a debilitating disease, you know, is not capable of even recognizing or focusing, still they can take prasadam, and the holy name is on a transcendental platform. It's awakening the spiritual soul. So the best thing that they hear the chanting and take prasad. You can, by giving prasad, you're giving your mercy. Yes, Prabhu. Mic is there, but not so powerful. But you can try.
The interesting thing with dementia is they say that by studying things and keeping the mind active, that the dementia can be delayed. And after my mother had 2 strokes, she was suffering dementia, but I had been reading the Krishna book to her about the rainfall in Vrindavan. So the woman came from the hospice group, and my mother says, "Are you an attorney?" She said, "I need an attorney to go to the courthouse and file a claim against Indra to cease and desist with the rain, and then I need to file a property damage claim against Indra on behalf of the residents of Vrindavan." So even though she had some dementia about it, she still got the story.
His mother was a famous lawyer that
And
actually
she was
helped
trying
our
to
society.
chant, but she was going, "How do you do that? How do you do that?"
So you read Krishna book, and even if they have any dementia, they'll also start appreciating. And prasad, don't forget the prasad part, okay?
That determination is an interesting word because it means that you've thought about it and you've come to a determination that this is the best thing to do, and then you solidify it.
So if we're determined to take prasadam and hear Krishna Katha, we'll be okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.